A big congrats on Little Fish. It's a pandemic love story, I think, but with a big heart and a bigger brain.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we're debuting this weekend. We're really excited.
Oh, now first things first, what got you attracted to joining the cast?
I mean, first and foremost was Chad Hartigan, our director. He's someone that I've known for maybe close to a decade. I met him early on in sort of the independent film world. He was friends with some filmmakers I worked on early on, actually on a film called Cold Weather that was also IFC film. We met at South by Southwest, and we've kind of remained in touch. And I've been a fan of his films, and just of his voice, his vision as a director, and how he kind of constantly reinvents himself. So I got the script, and I saw that Olivia Cooke and Jack O'Connell were attached. I'm fans of both of their work, and then I had a conversation with Chad and read the script, and I just fell in love with the script, the story about romantic love and a pandemic, and it's just a beautiful story, and I thought the character was a lot of fun. I've never played a musician before, not this extensively at least. I am a musician, so it was fun to kind of dive into that.
Oh, your character Ben
Mm-hmm.
looms large throughout the film. I mean, even without seeing you, I mean, he's a friend of Jude, played by Jack O'Connell, and
But
he and Olivia Cooke's Emma keep on talking about Ben. I mean, describe Ben to us.
I mean, Ben. So, Little Fish is based off a short story by a writer named Asia Gable, who's a very talented novelist and short story writer. And Mattson Tomlin, who wrote the Batman for Matt Reeves, wrote our script for Little Fish. And in the original short story, Ben doesn't appear. It was something that Mattson, in adapting this, really specific short story into like a larger story, to flesh out these characters. Emma and Jude created Ben and Samantha, these musician friends that our central characters spend a lot of time with. And Ben is the first in this group of friends to contract this disease that is going around and is crushing society.
Ben,
I mean, yeah, it's a very interesting character, a lot of fun.
yeah, well, Ben becomes almost like a ticking time bomb for the couple. I mean,
Yeah,
the more Ben, they know more about Ben, the more that it becomes real to them, right?
absolutely, definitely.
Now,
Yeah.
as I said earlier, Little Fish is a pandemic love story. Is that how you'll describe the film too?
Yeah, I mean it's a love story, and then yeah, the pandemic is a part of it, but it's definitely very much a love story.
Yeah. And at the heart of the movie is neuroinflammatory affliction, or NIA, the memory loss virus. I had no idea what that was before the film, and I had to like Google and research it. I'm like, wow. I mean, right now I'm thinking it doesn't seem too far-fetched, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. I mean, the disease in our film itself is fictitious. I mean, and I think it's better that way, especially now when we're dealing with a real pandemic. That I think it serves our story to kind of remove it a little bit, but I think it's just familiar enough, especially with what we're living through. That's very, very timely. But we didn't know that going into shooting it, and so we had a lot. We had a lot to draw from. Mattson gave us a lot in the script, and Chad just created this wonderful world for us to live in. And it's intense. It's very intense.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's still, I mean, I value my brain, right? Like most people. I mean,
Yeah,
I love my thoughts, my memories, all of that stuff.
yeah.
I mean, that is a sad thing if that happens, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But that was what was so exciting about getting to dive into this character, was getting to explore someone who is really losing his memory, and his whole notion of his memories of his love are disappearing, and he is going through this a very intense breakdown as a human being. And that was, to me, there was a lot to sink my teeth into as an actor, and I knew that with this group of actors, it was going to be, I knew we were going to go there, and I knew that this was the right group of people to kind of go there with.
And I love Olivia Cooke here and Jack O'Connell. I love their chemistry. I mean, the way,
Definitely.
everything. How was it working with them?
Wonderful. I mean, we really had such little time to create a chemistry, really, with these two couples between Soko, who plays Samantha, myself, Jack, and Olivia. And I mean, a lot of it really is in the casting. We were just introduced just before filming, and luckily it all clicked, and Soko and I were doing a lot of work before we landed in Vancouver, where we shot, to kind of create a little bit of intimacy, to create a history, because we just see we see these characters for like such a short window of time that we want to create like a history and a familiarity that will, in 10 seconds we can define a relationship. And I hope that we did, and I think Chad really gave us a lot to play with. So I'm really proud of the film. I'm excited for it to be out in the world and for audiences to get to know it.
That's right. And let's talk quickly about director Chad
Yeah.
Hartigan. I love his style here, right? Blurry objects become sharper, vice versa. I mean, lots of metaphor in his style, I think. Do you agree with me? And how was it working with him? I mean, being a friend, apart from being a friend of his, how do you think how his style is?
Well, Chad is really one of those directors that sort of reinvents himself with every film. I mean, like, I think of people like Darren Aronofsky or Steven Soderbergh, who like are, they sort of throw everything away and reinvent themselves, start again and I feel like Chad is that kind of director, and that was exciting for me to kind of dive into this whole new story for him. But he it was sort of he put a lot of trust in us, and he didn't get in our way. I feel like he let me be creative. He let me be specific and create this kind of character. And then he kind of came in like, the best directors is sort of, they know where to improve, and they know where to let things just go. And he has that sort of vision. He has that kind of confidence when he goes into a room, and he it was amazing, because we knew we were friends, but we never really worked together. You don't really know,
right,
until you're on set. It's kind of like the fog of, it's like being in, not to be flippant about it, but it's sort of war in that way. You do a lot of training, and then you go into the battlefield, and you really get to see what someone's made of, and when you're actually on set. And I think Chad, and he had this incredible crew, Sean, our DP, everyone, our, who worked on this film was really dedicated to telling the story. And I think we've got something really special for it.
What do you hope for viewers to get after watching Little Fish?
I mean, I think I want them to, I want the film to have them reflect on their own lives, their own experiences with love and with family and with memory, and not take it for granted, because we don't ever know when it won't be there. And I think this is certainly at a time when we're living through a pandemic, when we can't take things for granted. I think it's very timely, very relevant, and honestly, I think really cathartic, I hope, for audiences.
Oh, now speaking of the pandemic, how are you doing right now? How are you doing with the pandemic?
I've been really lucky. I was working up until everything shut down, and then I got to go back to work last fall. I shot a film actually with Mattson Tomlin, who's our screenwriter, a Miramax film, Mother Android, last fall, that we shot in Boston. So I've been very lucky to stay busy. I even shot something from the comfort of my own house here in New York, which is incredible. I think storytellers are having to get extra creative in this time. I think there was a similar point right after 9/11, I think, where American filmmakers certainly had to rethink who they were as storytellers moving forward. And I think all my friends who are storytellers have had to take a step back and really think about who they are moving forward, because it really is a whole new world. And I think Little Fish is, I think, IFC was so smart to wait to now to put it out, because we didn't really know what the future was looking like. But I feel very lucky. I feel like I've been very busy, and I have my partner here who, she's my rock and my support, and that makes all the difference. So yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Well, a big baby congrats again, Mr. Raúl and Little Fish. It's a portrait of love that must be seen. So thank you so much, and good luck on everything. Okay.
Thank you, Manny. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Thank you. You too.